Joining us on the line, Jake Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead and State of the Union. Good morning to you, Jake.
Good morning to you.
All right, so let's look backwards a little bit, then let's look forward. In New Hampshire, Trump wins and Bernie wins in a big way. Your assessment of what was the message from New Hampshire?
The message from New Hampshire is that the establishment, the Republican establishment, needs to figure out what to do with Donald Trump, because they either need to figure out a way to make him someone they can work with, or they need to figure out a way to stop him. As you guys know, I've been saying for months, tell me the scenario where he doesn't get the nomination, and the New Hampshire primary just underlines that even further. Tell me how he is not going to be the next Republican nominee. Explain the scenario. I don't see it, and I think Republicans in Washington, D.C., who don't want him on the top of the ticket and are afraid of having him in the White House, I think they need to reckon with this one way or the other.
And it's either get happy or find somebody who can take him on, you say? Yeah,
and so far we haven't seen anybody, and Trump points out that those who have taken him on have tended to destroy themselves in the process, whether it's Rick Perry or Lindsey Graham or Jeb Bush, who is the only one who really is willing to criticize him in any major way. And so far those are not exactly the most successful candidates. And yeah. I just don't see how he isn't going to be the Republican nominee. I mean, you guys know this. I'm like a broken record on this. I've been saying this for months. I don't. Tell me how he is stopped.
And Jake, it's kind of fascinating to watch, because it can be argued that the one candidate who maybe has a chance to stop him and a route to stop him would be the very well-funded Ted Cruz, who has the money to stop him, and also the electoral map, given that he appeals to evangelical types and grassroots conservative Tea Party types. He could do it, but boy, talk about pick your poison for the Republican establishment.
Right. Well, they don't like Ted Cruz, and in fact, people like Bob Dole are out there saying that they would actually even suggesting they'd prefer Donald Trump to Ted Cruz. And I think that right now there are a lot of debates I've been hearing about among Republicans about which one would be the stronger general election candidate, and that is a debate that people are having right now as they come to terms with this. Ted Cruz has been willing to take on Donald Trump to a degree, but I have not seen him do it. I've not seen him able to do it in a truly effective way. I don't think Donald Trump lost Iowa necessarily because of Ted Cruz. I think that he came in second there because of his own missteps, not having a good ground game, not showing up for that last debate. But still, he came in second. And then in New Hampshire, obviously, he came in first. He is in first place right now. And we'll see, as you guys know, South Carolina is a place where they like, politics is a full contact sport. They like it down and dirty down there. We'll see if Cruz versus Trump, if Cruz is able to land any blows in any major way.
All right, so on the Democratic side of the equation, Hillary and Bernie moved to South Carolina after Bernie just trashed her in the New Hampshire primary. And it seems like it's going to be a fight over minority voters.
That's true. We should also give credit to Bernie Sanders. This is the biggest margin of victory in the Democratic and a contested Democratic New Hampshire primary since John F. Kennedy in 1960. So since before, at least I was alive. I don't know about either of you, but you weren't old at the time, and either if you were alive. And I have to say, this is also a reckoning moment for Democrats. The establishment is not enamored of Bernie Sanders either. And I've been talking to lots of Democrats who are worried about his strength as a general election candidate, and would nominating Bernie Sanders be handing over the White House to the Republican Party? Was this the only way that Donald Trump or Ted Cruz could actually win? Who knows? That's the view of Democrats, not me. Now, of course, Bernie Sanders does have to perform with groups that he has not historically had to perform well with, which is to say non-white individuals and non-progressives, moderate Democrats in South Carolina, African-Americans in South Carolina, as well as Latinos in Nevada. And we'll see if he's able to do it. There are sounds from Hillary supporters in the black community that they're starting to get worried that maybe his message will be able to be resonant with African-American voters. They're saying that already they're seeing it among young African-American voters in the same way that Bernie's been able to capture young voters in Iowa and New Hampshire. So it was a bad week and a bad night for the establishment on both sides of the aisle.
Jake Tapper is our guest, anchor of CNN's State of the Union every Sunday, and also daily the lead. By the way, Jake, yesterday you had Sean Spicer from the RNC on the lead. It was Ash
Yeah.
Wednesday. I'm sure you saw the response. Sean was there with his ashes on his forehead, and people were like, not understanding and saying he had something on his head. I don't know if you saw this tweet, but my favorite was, "You have something on your forehead. Shame on Jake Tapper for not letting the man know." So you got dragged into this, Jake.
It was so weird. First of all, Catholics are like a quarter of the population.
I know.
mean, this is not some obscure religion. Second of all, I don't know if it's because I work in news. I know there are a lot of Catholics in news, or because I'm from Philadelphia, which is obviously there are a lot of Catholics in Philadelphia. But this was no surprise to me. It was Ash Wednesday.
Apparently, it's incumbent on you to just reach across the table. Like, "Hey, Sean, let me take care of this for you."
It was just. I could understand people saying, "Hey, go to mass after you do TV." I mean, that would be if you're gonna poke somebody, to say at least have some knowledge about it.
Yeah.
But that was, Sean. Shame on Sean for worshiping Jesus.
Yes. Well, he handled it pretty well, and
Yeah.
of course you did too, Jake. We little things like that always make life interesting. Jake, thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Jake.